Willkommen. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sean Huggins and this is React with Hugs. Thank you so much for being here. Today, we are going to be checking out things you don't need in Germany. Oh, this should be interesting. But before we get into that, real quick, if you haven't already, then please consider subscribing, leaving a like, leaving your mustard down in the comment section, all of that good stuff. It helps boost the algorithm, which helps the channel. You guys know the deal. Anyways, let's waste no more time yapping. Link to the original video down in the description as always. But, los geht's.
Welcome to my channel. I'm Antoinette, a New Zealander living in Germany, and in this video today I'm going to be talking about things that you absolutely do not need if you come to Germany. And I'm going to be talking about things that are kind of like essentials in New Zealand. These are things that I use regularly in New Zealand that I just don't have a use for now that I live in Germany. Okay guys, so one of the things that you absolutely will not need if you come to Germany is thermal underwear. Okay, let me explain this one.
You use that a lot in New Zealand? Okay, interesting.
In New Zealand, we love our thermal underwear. We love our merino singlets and long johns. The reason we need to wear thermal underwear in New Zealand is because our New Zealand homes are so cold during the winter time. Our homes are not as well insulated as the German homes. We have single glazing on our windows. We don't have like a built-in heating system. Some of the homes in New Zealand have heat pumps, which just heat up one room.
Dude, what? They don't have heating systems in the winter in New Zealand. Okay, that is a new one for me. I would not have expected that. You know, coming to Germany, living in Germany, it was definitely an adjustment to get used to not having air conditioning in your home, but not having heat. That's a new one for me.
And we have fires, we heat our homes with fires, but also they only heat up one room. And sometimes we have like little separate heaters, but they just don't do the trick. And because our homes aren't very well insulated, the heat just goes out straight away and it's really hard to like keep your home warm in New Zealand. I remember when I'm
assuming the weather in New Zealand is mostly warm, so they have probably not as intense of winters as a lot of Germany or even a lot of America, so that's probably my guess, but I don't know, I've never been there.
I was getting ready to come to Germany, and
Still
Rob, who was my
though.
boyfriend at the time, my husband now, he was talking to his parents on the phone in Germany, and they were saying that it is really, really cold in Germany. It's like one of the coldest winters that they've had in so long. And my mum and I, we actually went out shopping. I vividly remember this, and we were on the hunt for like really good quality merino thermal underwear that I could wear in Germany. And everyone was telling me this, that I need to like take my merinos. And I remember my grandmother actually saying to me, oh, make sure you have enough merinos, you know, it's going to be really cold in Germany. And Rob was like, what are you guys talking about? You do not need your thermal underwear in Germany. And I was so confused. I just couldn't work out why I wouldn't need my thermal underwear in Germany.
That's pretty cool.
So anyway, fast forwarding to when I arrived in Germany, I soon realized that I wasn't going to be using my thermal underwear because the homes in Germany and the shops and anywhere inside is just so incredibly toasty warm. There is a huge contrast in temperature in Germany between outside and inside. So basically, if you go to Germany during the winter time, you just have to invest in a really good quality thick warm jacket. Forget about the merino, save your money. Do not get your thermal merino underwear and put that money towards a really thick good jacket. The key to dressing for winter in Germany is to layer. So when you're outside, you're nice and snuggly and warm in your jacket, and then when you go inside, you can take off your jacket and you're in just like thin layers because it is so warm. You would like die if you wore merinos inside during the winter time in Germany because it's just simply too hot. Okay, and this is on the same kind of subject, but something you absolutely do not need in Germany are hot water bottles and electric blankets.
Oh, this is, I guess, also for staying warm? Interesting. Actually, it's funny, I tried to use an American heated blanket in Germany, and it just blew up because of the wattage difference or whatever. So I never actually used a heated blanket in Germany, but yeah,
Because our homes are so cold in New Zealand during the winter time, the way that we get warm is to sleep with a hot water bottle. Actually, I think you can get them in Germany, but I don't see them very often. Now, basically, if you don't know what a hot water bottle is, it is a bottle that you fill with like really warm water, which will keep you warm and you can snuggle it in your bed. And I grew up with hot water bottles. We also have electric blankets, which are blankets that you plug in and they heat up, like the whole blanket will heat up. You don't have the electric blanket on all night, you just basically put it on like maybe an hour or two before going to bed and then turn it off before you go to bed, and your blankets are all nice and warm, and then when you wake up in the morning you're absolutely freezing again. But anyway, so you will not need an electric blanket or hot water bottles in Germany. I can guarantee you that. You can actually just sleep with like a really thin blanket and you are absolutely fine. Another thing that you won't need, you won't use if you go to Germany, and this is for the ladies, it is high heels. Now,
What? Are you telling me not to pack my high heels? What the heck? I have 3 suitcases full. Now what am I going to do? I have to repack everything.
I was the high heel queen in New Zealand. If you knew me in New Zealand, you will know how many pairs of heels I owned. Every time I went out to parties, clubbing, on the weekends, I would wear high heels. I had so many different pairs. If I would buy like a pair of boots, they would have to have kind of like a wedge or some kind of a heel on them because I'm super short. I always felt like I needed to be taller for some reason, and I just loved my high heels. And in New Zealand, everyone wears high heels at the clubs. And I came to Germany and I realized that no one wore high heels here. I barely saw anybody wearing high heels. If you go to like a fancy nightclub in Germany, you will hardly see anybody wearing high heels. If you wear high heels, you'll be like the odd one out.
Whoa, is this true? I mean, I actually don't know the answer to this, but I'm assuming you guys do. Are high heels not popular in Germany? I don't know.
And one of the only times I've seen German women wearing high heels has been at weddings. German women wear high heels at weddings. So maybe they'll own like 1 or 2 pairs just in case, like for a wedding or for like a really special event. But most of the time they don't wear high heels. One of the reasons why German women don't wear high heels is because so many parts of Germany are surrounded by these like beautiful cobblestone streets. And has anybody ever tried walking in heels on cobblestone streets? It is virtually impossible. I actually broke a pair of high heels walking on cobblestone streets. The entire heel just like came off.
Holy crap.
And it got stuck in the cobblestone, and I was like walking around with no heel on my shoe. So I do not recommend you wearing heels in Germany for that reason alone. And I actually think, I don't know, if you're German and you're watching this, do you think that is the reason why Germans don't wear heels so much? Is it because of the cobblestone streets?
Don't ask me.
Or is it because you just don't really like heels very much? I'm really interested to know that. I just feel like the German style in general is a lot more casual, and especially when you're going out like clubbing, Germans want to be comfortable, and I don't know, they just feel more comfortable in flat shoes. Okay, so another thing that you absolutely will not need in Germany, and this is for the ladies again, and for the guys if you're into that kind of thing, you will not need to waste your money on buying really expensive makeup products, because in Germany...
I'll tell you what, I saved a lot of money in Germany. I didn't buy any makeup in Germany, so that's good.
The less is more look is considered much more attractive than like the caked on makeup look. I'm not saying that German women don't wear makeup. Yes, they do. A lot of German women wear makeup, but they just don't go as crazy with their makeup. They're just a lot more minimal with their makeup. In Germany, it's just considered way more attractive to look natural and to just kind of enhance your natural beauty. So I feel like a lot of German women, they'll just wear a little bit of mascara, maybe a tiny little bit of eyeliner, a bit of lip gloss, and they're good to go. And I'm probably wearing way more makeup right now than the average German would wear. I'm not saying that you shouldn't wear makeup in Germany. I'm just saying that you don't need to like go all out with your makeup in Germany, because it's just not really a thing here. I feel like so many women from other countries who visit Germany, they gradually start to wear less and less makeup, and it's usually just a very gradual process. But it happens. Makeup products are expensive, so by wearing less makeup, by buying less like makeup products, you are obviously saving money, saving time, and you usually look a lot better with less makeup, so it's a win-win situation. Okay guys, last but not least, another thing that you do not need in Germany, and this is not actually a thing, this is more like a thing you do, And I'm not recommending this at all, but technically you do not need to speak German to get by in Germany.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, technically yes, but practically and in reality, you're going to want to definitely learn German for sure. But technically speaking, you can survive short term without knowing it, because I did. But tell you what, it's freaking hard. And even now, I'm not great at German. Like maybe I'm like a B, I don't know the levels. Wait, A, B, like a B level or something. And it's not great. It's still very difficult just like existing. So definitely learn German. Yeah.
And I know that sounds
But you
kind
can
of crazy,
survive
but it's true.
without
Most
it if you know
Germans
English.
speak a pretty decent level of English, or they can kind of like string a sentence together and make themselves understood or understand you.
Yeah. But also living in a larger city definitely helps a lot, because there would be more tourism there. Anybody from outside of Germany is probably speaking English, like someone from other places in Europe, for example, coming to Germany, probably speaking English. So then everyone communicates in English as their second language kind of thing. But once you get outside of the big cities or the cities, and you're in a small town in Germany, then it can get a little dicey, at least in my experience. But that's why you have to learn German.
Shop or a cafe and you can't speak a word of German and you open your mouth and speak English, most likely the person who is serving you will be able to understand you. Maybe they won't be able to like speak English fluently, but they will be able to sort of make out what's going on, and you're not going to be like totally lost. And if they can't understand you, there's probably going to be a person, you know, like a few meters away that will be able to speak English.
True.
And so you can always find your way around speaking English. I definitely think it's worthwhile learning, you know, some basic German phrases and just a little bit of basic German before you come to Germany. But it's not like completely necessary, because you are going to be able to, you know, find your way around. And a lot of people speak English. It's incredible, actually.
Well, yeah, I guess this is a good distinction. If you're just visiting for a couple of days or you're going on vacation in Germany, then you don't need to learn all of German or whatever. I thought she was talking about living and existing in Germany long term. In that case, definitely learn German. If you're just going to Germany to visit, going on vacation, then yeah, learning a couple little phrases, that definitely is nice, but it's not super necessary. It's just like a nice thing to do, but you'll be able to survive on just English by just getting around on just English for sure.
I was so surprised about how many people could speak English in Germany when I first came. For me personally, I did not want to be one of those native English speakers who did not go to any effort to learn German. And I think it's okay if you're just visiting for a short time, but if you're living in Germany, that's a completely different story. For me, it was so important to be able to speak German, because, you know, German is the native language of Germany, not English. So guys, that's about it for this video.
Wow. All right. That was awesome. A lot of helpful tips. Don't need heels. Don't need makeup. Don't need thermal underwear. All things that I totally have a ton of. Totally. But actually, though, it was interesting to hear her perspective coming from New Zealand, living in Germany, and sharing her thoughts on that. But I'm curious what you guys, the experts, have to say about it. What do you think of the video? Let me know your thoughts. Leave your mustard down in the comment section below. And again, consider liking, subscribing, all that good stuff. It helps the algorithm and all that. You know the deal. But that being said, that's all the time that I have for today. So thank you guys so much for being here. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.